Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Tonight we're doing two beards, one comic. That means it's two beards. It's my beard and Kelsey's beard, and we're gonna play comics together. And what comics are we playing? Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars 3 and 4.
Which I'm starting to think that everybody on this show and everybody that watches this show has already read this. I'm the only one, and you guys are living vicariously through
right.
me.
And they're all talking about issue 6. I'm like, be quiet, Kelsey didn't read issue 6 yet.
I was like, yeah, no spoilers. I'm going 2 at a time.
Yeah, 2 at a time. For a bunch of reasons. It's a fun series. I'm enjoying doing this every week, and I can't stay up that late.
Right. Well, and you know, these comics were designed to be kind of sipped, one a month kind of thing.
Yeah, and, you guys aren't getting a month in between issues. You're only getting a week.
Hey, What Geeks Do Network is here.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, What Geeks Do Network. He's the one who did my opening music. So
cool.
I saw Kelsey bopping to that. So it's kind of catchy, huh?
We should have more people. J-Bot said that his mom said he could play too. He'd stay out until the lights come on. So
nice.
Hopefully he'll show up.
Well, this is on Facebook. This is on YouTube, and it's on X. So I really don't know how many people are totally watching it. I just know that we got 10 on YouTube right now.
This
hey,
is hey Dread, what's happening? I was talking to somebody about I was like, I'm going to be on a show with John's Long Box, and they were like, Long Box? Is that his name?
Yeah, because my mom, it's like that Monty Python. My parents named me Gassan, so I became a waiter.
Yeah, exactly.
With the name of Long Box, it was only natural that I would get into comic books.
Yeah,
it's funny.
I was like, we're just a bunch of kids, kind of reliving our youth a little bit, and instead, I got coffee. When I was a kid, it would have been chocolate or strawberry milk.
Yeah. Fruit Loops, and
Red in the house.
A box of High C or something.
I did Fruity Pebbles.
It's coffee and Doan's pills because my back is killing me.
Well.
And it's funny at work whenever
I read comics now.
Somebody's like, "You're on YouTube," because there's a couple of guys who are into comics, but they pretend they're not. They pretend not to get excited.
Why?
I'm talking to you, Pete, if you're watching. But they're like, Long Box. It's like, yes, they think it's something dirty. Immediately, the construction workers go to something dirty, and then they watch my channel. So it was like you and some fat other guy with a beard talking about.
Yeah, that's Long Box.
Yeah. What's in the box? What's in the Long Box?
Comics. Yeah. And human heads.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. My real name is John Mess of Long Huge Juicy Peen. It's Dutch.
Box
over here going, you wish. You're supposed to back me up, honey. Yeah, and hit Long Box Punk. That is perfect. I'm kind of mad that you thought of that first because I was just talking with Jesse Blaze Snyder just earlier. We spent half the time talking about punk rock, and comic books.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Chris is another guy I love. He could just come on the channel. We say hello, and we're like that Step Brothers. Did we just become best friends?
Yeah. So, what's his name? Chris
Stahl, and his channel is Long Box Punk. So he does.
Okay.
He does comic. I was addressing the chat, but before we address
this,
I see.
Hey, Chris, I see you in the chat.
I'm going to bring up my campaign. This is on Kickstarter right now. I have Heroic Tales. I just wanted to talk about this a little bit. It's my 4th day, and I was really freaking out, but I didn't know this, that Kickstarter doesn't alert me when people pledge. So I was like, nobody since the first day, but we got 16 backers. So thank you, everybody. I didn't notice that until today. I was like, only 4 people pledged. Nobody likes me. But here's the Renzo Rodriguez cover, the standard cover. A couple people were asking for a black and white edition. So I'll give you a black and white edition if that's what you want. A lot of people were asking about the back cover image. I call this Dad, so I make this the cover, and then on the back it'll be the same image, but without any of the front cover dressing. And then this is, to me, the draw. I am a big Michael T. Gilbert freak. And Kelsey and I were talking that he's a comic book artist. He's the creator and artist and writer of Mr. Monster. So
I always wondered what his story was too, because he's made a career out of kind of doing some Mr. Monster comics every couple of years or something. Like,
yeah, I wonder that too, because it's such a fringe. Like, I don't know him well enough to ask him personal questions like that. But when he came on my channel, he was cool. He was funny. You know, he's sarcastic, and he likes to put humor in everything. So when he read the script of the comic, he's like, this is an homage to an old Superboy comic. You
nice.
know, but my wife loves this cover. And it's funny because people who are really not into comics, this is their favorite cover. You know, people who are into comics, they want to see the heroism and the muscles and everything. But I love this cover. I got the art
in the background.
No. It's old school coloring. You know.
Oh, okay.
It's just the foreground is colored, the back is less colored.
Here, let me read it.
That's his wife getting captured by. If you see the cover.
More lemonade, son. Wait.
Yeah.
Let me read it. Nothing like a peaceful picnic on a beautiful day like this. Sure, Pop, but watch out for the ants. Yeah, Mom found him.
Back cover. You see, this is his wife over here with the burns, which will be addressed in issue 3. But enough about that. Let's. I got to remove myself.
There's nothing like a hot burn victim.
Oh yeah.
I got rid of John with that one. He was out of here.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm not a boomer. I just look like one, smell like one, and my back hurts like one. Oh, what's geeks? I love that cover. There's 3 varied covers. There's the Renzo cover. There's the Pat Broderick cover that we see. It's still active on Fund My Comic. You can go to Fund My Comic and get that. It's doing gangbusters on Fund My Comic. This is just Kickstarter, and then when I go to Indiegogo, I have Mike Gustovich, and it's funny because my whole theme is it's like a return to Bronze Age comics. So I got a lot of hot Bronze Age artists, and then like all the new kids are like, I don't know who these people are.
Yeah,
like,
it seems like Kickstarter is full of a lot of new people or people that like that old school smut kind of stuff that we
there's a lot of booby stuff.
Yeah.
On Kickstarter. But wait do you see the Mike Gustovich cover? It is pure super heroics. It is just awesome. Mike Gustovich inked John Byrne and things like that. So it's gonna be cool. I just have the original. He's such an old timer. He just mailed me the original. I got to scan it. So I got to scan it. So I got to go to Office Depot and scan it so people can actually see it and get it colored.
He's like, scan it. Just get your camera out and take a picture of it.
That's what he did. He took a picture on his phone and sent it to me.
I'm actually thinking about doing that. I looked up how to photograph artwork instead of scanning it.
Oh,
and you need like a light setup where you can have lights shining on it at like a 45-degree angle from either side. So I don't know. We'll have to see if the setup's too much of a pain in the ass. Setup. Just a scanner works great, but I don't know, man. I've been going back at some point.
Yeah, I think I'm having an effect on you. You're regressing back into the old school. Next thing you know, you're going to be hand painting with brushes all the colors.
I do. I do that already. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I was telling somebody earlier I'm going to end up with a wood burning stove and and candlelight. That's we're gonna. Hey Kelsey, it's time for 2 beards. I'm churning the butter right now. Yeah, I can't get on the bicycle to generate power in order to have the internet.
Matt Barr has a page in my book. It's hysterical. Oh my god!
Oh, nice.
He does a sea monkeys ad, but instead it's sea hippies.
Matt's a perfect guy for that kind of thing.
It was great. I was like, I got ideas. Matt was like, okay, I'll get to it. I got a bunch of commissions, and then I kind of forgot about it. And then he's like, it's done. And I'm so glad I didn't interfere because it's a million times better than anything I thought of.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's so good.
Damn.
I remember seeing outside reading Secret. Yeah. So let's get back to this. So those of you who Secret, what are your thoughts? You're the newest guy. I'm sure everybody in the chat read all 12 issues but you.
Well, if you caught up last episode, it started really rough for me with the dialogue and everything, but it got better. Either it got better or I started getting into its rhythms. And these two were vastly better. And I think it's because a lot of the introduction and my power is this, and that's all done. So now they can kind of just focus on the story. but man, Shooter cannot write women for nothing. I mean, they're all like Susie Homemaker types, all just longing for their tea and crumpets, and it's just hilarious.
They do nothing. The women did absolutely nothing in the past 2 issues.
Yeah, well, this one, I don't know, not this one. Well, this one and the next one, I think the Wasp makes a pretty big show, but she's annoying. I realized that I'm not sure I like the Fantastic Four. I think they're all kind of a bunch of jerks. I think that the Avengers just want to fight everything, and but they're the coolest team. The X-Men just suck. Let me tell you, I used to love the X-Men, but they do not put on a good show here. So I'm hoping that they're building to something cool with the X-Men, because right now they're losing every fight. They're being misunderstood by everybody. They're wanting to team up with the villain. It's just terrible.
They don't put up a good argument. You know, like I've been saying this since the 80s, that the X-Men deserve persecution. You know why people hate mutants? Because of the X-Men.
Yeah, but I tell you, the one
every third year, Xavier turns into a villain and destroys a city.
Yeah, the one standout, the true hero of Secret Wars, in my opinion, is Dr. Doom. This guy is taking charge. He knows what to do. He's on top of everything except for Galactus. He's a little worried about what Galactus is up to.
But he won't let on. He's just like, Galactus. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
So it's interesting. These 2 issues too were they were really good, but they were very different. Everything kind of slowed down for a moment, and we got to catch up with everybody. But there's some real big moments, and even an artist change where I'm like, Bob Layton, man, the guy that's always getting in my way on my Iron Man comics, But honestly, it was good, and I was totally into it. And I think that's a mark of a good comic, when you don't even have to like everything, but you still kind of get into it and what's going on.
It's better than a toy tie-in should be.
No kidding, man. And I wouldn't have known that if you'd not said that.
Yeah, it was made. I forget if it was Hasbro or Mattel came to Marvel and said, let's make action figures and let's make a comic book to go with it, And again, I keep trying to push the Micronauts on you. The Micronauts is a much better comic than it should be for a toy tie-in. Same with Rom. Rom is a stupid toy, and it is an awesome comic. But we ready to open up?
As with most things, I have not read any of those, so we'll have to get to those after this.
And you said you were thinking about you want to pick one for me. So,
well, you had mentioned doing you had mentioned doing some single ones, some like fast ones. That would be fun.
Yeah.
But we should definitely do Micronauts, because I've heard from more than a few people whose opinion I respect that Micronauts is dope and that we should read it.
At the very least, you're going to see some glorious Michael Golden artwork.
Well, yeah. Come on.
And Bill Mantlo, I got to say, like, you read his Alpha Flight, it's horrible, but you read Micronauts and it's great. The Lego comic was my first comic ever. That sounds like a chore, but
Bionicle. Hey, whatever your entry level, what is it? Your gateway drug is.
Right. Oh, there you go. It's a toy tie. It's not very good, but you know what? Everybody loves their first girlfriend. Everybody loves their first car. Everybody loves their first comic.
Yeah.
So here we go. I love this because it's Spider-Man beating the crap out of the X-Men. I love hate the X-Men.
He was great, but. I don't know. I'm like of 2 minds on like everything, because I'm just not like Spider-Man. I'm like, oh, Spidey's great, but there's like a couple of moments in it where he's just so human. Like he seems to be the most fully realized character in the Marvel universe.
Right. We were talking about that in the Warlock series. He panicked, he had a moment and it was his moment of panic that saved the day in the long run. I do love that. That's why I think like all this my representation stuff. It's like, if you can't see yourself in Spider-Man, then that just means to me you're not a human.
Yeah. Oh, he's so great. It seems like I'm really close to just digging into old school Spider-Man and reading it all, starting from the Ditko stuff on, because, and I know I've watched a whole review on that, but I'm just, I'm way more into it than I ever thought I would be. So I really like his character.
I really like.
He seems like a real guy.
He seemed like a real guy, and Peter was a jerk.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he was such a jerk until Steve Ditko left, and then they softened him up. Like that's the first thing that once Ditko left, they had Peter go around and do the apology tour.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I saw a whole thing on that. But what's going to be interesting is because I've been with that character almost my entire life, from cartoons to Underoos to whatever. Spider-Man has always been in my life, and I've only read like a handful of comics, and I thought they were terrible. But every time I read them, like in these books that we're reading, I'm like, that's Spider-Man. Like I recognize him instantly, his voice.
Yeah. He's my
Spider-Man. He's a lot of people's faves. Doctor Doom is my fave now.
Doctor Doom is my favorite villain of all time. Yeah. So
he's my favorite hero. How dare you? He's not a villain.
Everybody's a hero in their own story.
Exactly.
So we all know Jim Shooter is the writer. Michael Zeck is the penciler. John Beatty is the inker. Christine Scheele is the colorist, and Tom DeFalco is the editor. But Jim Shooter is still the editor-in-chief of Marvel. But just Jim Shooter made a rule you can't edit yourself, which I think is a pretty good rule.
That's a good rule.
Yeah.
And I think it must pay off because this issue starts off so much better than the other two.
Right. Like you said, the introductions are out of the way. The clumsy, awkward comic booky stuff is out of the way. And Paul Artist says 2 beards, 1 comic sounds sexy. You have no idea how sexy this is. You have no idea.
This is the real deal.
Yeah, we should do 2 beards, 1 comic after dark.
Oh, get into some Tim Vigil or something.
So here we have a storm. One of the things that, like, I guess I missed it as a kid. This planet is a patchwork planet. So think about it. You have all of these different, chunks of worlds fitting together. So the weather is erratic on this world,
And they illustrate that, not to illustrate, but his writing illustrates how powerful this storm is in such a great way. I was really into this whole bit.
And I love when alien worlds are truly alien. Like I understand Star Trek is a TV show. You can't do the big budget, but we got this crazy base that looks like a magnet. And then the ground is covered in this like carnivorous meat plants. You know what I mean? It's the only way, like it, it's like writhing with worms and everything. It truly is an alien landscape. I love when they do that. Doctor Who always seems to visit Earth-like worlds of Star Trek.
Well, everything he's talking about is just big, this bizarre alien plane, the menacing structure far more massive than anything on Earth, the storm, everything is just so grand the way they're painting this picture. And then, then you get Magneto just chilling.
Yeah, just chilling. He's like, the big storm. It's like, I'm not going outside. I'm safe. I might as well chill. Yeah. And what am I doing? I'm going to release the Wasp.
He's got other plans. He's like, well, how can I keep myself busy? Oh, well, I got a...
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I got a beautiful, sexy superhero chick. There you go. Yeah. You want some Homo Superior?
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's what's happened. But she doesn't take it. She's kind of she's got a mind of her own. Where he's like, you can't touch me. I got force field protection. And she's like, yeah, but I can knock your sandwich in the dirt.
And then he goes, yes, that's a great opportunity for you to make me another sandwich.
Yeah.
And here
this scene cracks me up. I don't know if it's this one, but keep going. Yeah.
I'll keep going. And then we got free comic Oreo cookies.
Oh, of course.
I like pointing out the ads to you because you have a collected edition that doesn't have the ads.
I used to love the ads I'm glad I grew up in a time where we still had these very same ads in our book. And then it started changing swiftly after that in the 90s. But video game ads, and it was all high end. You didn't really have this kind of thing.
We would talk about that in the Warlock series. The ads were like footballs and BB guns and target guns and then fishing. And now it's like sit on your ass, play a video game. Well, we're not at the video games yet. This is still the 80s.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So so this is great. This is like they again with the scale. They describe this city as this building that they're in as the size of Chicago.
Right.
And then this rock, I guess, as big as Chicago, is about to fall on it. That's a big rock. That's like an entire mountain.
Right. Yeah.
About to fall
size
on the
of Chicago.
city.
And then, so I guess Detroit is about to fall on Chicago over here.
Yeah.
And what do we have?
Thor.
Yeah. Odds blood. By the All-Father's grace, let the strength of Thor be enow.
I didn't understand that. I was going to ask you, odds blood? What does that mean?
Odin.
Oh, okay. And then Thor be enow? Is that like electronic now, like the 90s or the 2000s?
Yeah, Thor, he's a a futurist. Now, they never explain. Like I'm of the opinion, like Thor speaks in like this phony Shakespearean English, because that's what he does. Don't explain it. That's just the way the Asgardians talk. It was just Stan and Jack like trying to make it sound regal or something. You know what I mean?
But I did enjoy this where he's just having a blast out there where everybody's like, oh my God, the storm, it can kill us. The sound of thunder alone will destroy human beings. And he's out there laughing his ass off.
Yeah. Thor's
smashing rocks.
But look at these ads. We got football, be a slam dunker.
Yeah.
Muscles, baseball cards, comic books. We're still not at the vegetate stage.
Yeah. They're like, when you're done reading this comic, dork, go outside and play some sports.
Look at Thor, like he's just crack a boom. He's smashing all the rocks.
Yeah, he's having a good time.
Yeah. What did they say? I remember the quote somewhere. Is it true? Like Thor's not just encouraging. Thor's not just enjoying the storm. He's encouraging it.
Yeah, that's a line out of here too. Encouraging it. Yeah.
And then we got She-Hulk over here just carrying some object for no reason whatsoever.
Why not? She's strong. Yeah.
Right. But that's the whole thing about comic books. It doesn't matter what you're saying. Make it cool while you say it. Like
exactly.
The example I always bring up is Daredevil and Black Widow. We're talking about the nature of their relationship. Should we get married? Do we want kids? Do we have the right to have kids given what we do? Blah, blah. That's all heady stuff. While they're doing it, they're taking out muggers, jumping up from flagpole to flagpole, beating the crap out of people. Now, in a modern comic, that would be in a Starbucks, as they're ordering scones or something like that. No,
yeah, and it would take 5 issues to order those scones and then eat them. Yeah, and then they'll be talking about this great battle that they had in a comic that doesn't exist.
Yeah, issue 3, the prenup. So yeah. I love this. That looks like an uncomfortable mask. There's a storm going on. Everybody's on your side. There's no villains. There's no civilians. But the mask stays on because it's cool.
Are you talking about Hawkeye?
Yeah, look at that.
Well, I mean, it's a cool mask.
Yeah. Don't you want purple flares all the time? I wish I could dress like that. You know what? Nothing's stopping me. I've had You said that these comics were a revelation for you. Fashion is now a revelation for me. I'm going to dress like Hawkeye from now on.
I would love it if people just dressed as Thor, like when I'm at the bank. There'd be like Hawkeye next to me because he loved those movies and just like I think we're almost there. People could just dress how they want now.
Right. That's in my
I identify as a Marvel comic book.
because superheroes are real in the world of my comic book. Superheroes influence fashion, so that like if you go to a rave, there'll be people in like superhero inspired outfits and stuff like that. Because I'm trying to think, how would superheroes really affect the world? Wouldn't they be movie stars and rock stars and Twitter stars? So wouldn't regular people wear capes and masks and stuff,
or rocket roller skates like Iron Man? Here, I must point out.
Yep. Yeah, that's what here he is. Yeah.
And you can see the little roller skates on his feet.
He's got rocket roller skates. He says, the raindrops hit like 44 Magnum slugs. The thunder alone would kill a normal, unprotected man. Tell me, woman, how could Thor survive that? And she says, he's tough.
Yeah, I love that. He's tough.
I think he likes it.
That's a great bit of alliteration, though. I mean, Frank Miller would have written it a little bit better, and so that it flowed. But I love that the raindrops are like a 44 Magnum slug. I mean, that's great.
Right.
that really illustrates how powerful that storm is to me.
And right here, Captain Marvel says that he likes it. He's probably encouraging it. Iron Man's like, encouraging it. Come on, Slowpoke. And then we got all of these superheroes. We got Hulk lifting up a machine for no reason whatsoever.
It's what they do.
Yeah. Reed Richards is there, stretching around. So lift machines. Make yourself useful.
Yeah. Again, I love all the machinery in this. Something I noticed when Bob Layton shows up, and I had to go back and look at this issue, and I'm like, well, they're not that much different. Like, it's not that Mike Zeck is so much better than Bob Layton, but like the machinery definitely is. Like, something about the way he does the machinery and stuff in this that
Zeck, you like Zeck's machinery better?
I think so. I think yeah.
He's the Hulk. If he can't smash it, he's going to carry it. Well, maybe he's carrying it to a better place to smash it. You ever think about that?
He gets cut down too, man. Of course, it's on purpose. I found out later. I was really mad at Reed.
This is smart Hulk too. This isn't really, like dumb Hulk. And then we got Mile High Comics, and
I love Mile High. They're still around, right?
Yep, they're still around. Yep.
Yeah.
I always like to see, like, if they have any really old comics, how much they would cost. Avengers 200 for $1.
What?
One of the creepiest comics ever. Did you ever read Avengers 200?
I don't. Probably not.
I did a Sunday comics on it.
Was it ever in Heavy Metal magazine? No,
probably not. Yeah, it's Carol Danvers gets roofied by Immortus, and then she has birth to Immortus.
What?
And then the Avengers are just like, go live with Immortus now. It's the creepiest comic. You know, I'm not much of a politically correct guy, but even that comic gives me the skeeves.
Wow. We might have to read that one.
Yeah, it's and then her next appearance, which is Avengers Annual 10, the first appearance of Rogue, she lets the Avengers have it. Chris Claremont takes over. You know, Chris Claremont was famous for writing women, you know, and and I think that Avengers 200 was written by Shooter. There you go.
Interesting.
There you go. Maybe we'll do that someday, even though I already did for Sunday.
Yeah. That would be okay. I might just watch your video.
Here we go. So
we got a lot of comics to get through, John. I
know. Of them. I'm recruiting you for like 7 years. There's gonna be no more Nexus. I got to talk to Kelsey about comics.
Yeah, we got things to do. Again, look at this machinery and Spidey climbing around on. He even mentions that. He's like, "Do you think all this is put up here just so I can swing around?" Nah.
Yeah. Jeez, it looks like this room is bigger than the World Trade Center. Give me another giant gizmo that looks like a cosmic Cuisinart. So the scale of this is just ridiculous, right?
I love it.
Here we got a second page of Mile High. Hey, we got Wolf Bear in the chat. How you doing? Good to see you.
Hello.
The owner does a trans karaoke show. Yes, Mike Krozowski of Mile High Comics.
Of course. They
stay in business with Funko Pops. What the Mile High? Or just comic book stores in general, because Mile High has every comic. It is literally my last resort, because they will have it, but it is like 3 times more expensive. I guess trans makeup is expensive.
I follow this guy that was talking about that there's a YouTube or not a YouTube, but a Facebook group where they trade and buy and sell old comics. So you might be in one for all I know, but that might be a good place just to trade them amongst ourselves like we used to. Forget Mile High.
Yeah, I would only trade all the wrinkled ones.
Yeah, exactly.
So now we got Spider-Man is just eavesdropping on the X-Men over here.
He doesn't want to, but you know, they start saying some juicy stuff.
We must take matters into our own hands. We do not belong here. Xavier is the shadiest character in all of comics. I've been saying it. Issue 2 of the X-Men, he's thinking about how much he lusts after 16-year-old Jean Grey. Later on, he turns into Onslaught. He turns into the Enigma. You know, he's a bad guy half the time. Then he busts out Magneto when he's having a trial. Xavier, you know.
But in his defense, at least in this series, especially these 2 issues, I get the feeling, and the last one actually, I get the feeling there is a greater plan. He has an idea of what to do, but nobody can hear it out before they go and rat him out. Like nobody wants to hear it. So he's just going to have to do it.
Also, I just remembered, I forgot about this. Rogue only like a few months ago in comic book time fought the Avengers, and she took out Carol Danvers and like put her in a coma. So the Avengers is just like, Rogue is a villain, and you guys are harboring a villain. So,
well, not only that, but they were protecting Magneto. So, they're protecting Magneto. They don't want to get along with the rest of the gang. They're harboring a criminal in Rogue. Spidey hears them now talking about going and siding with Magneto. So in every possible look, this is bad for them. All of this. But Wolverine is written a lot more like Wolverine here. I feel.
Right, Wolverine. Keep in mind, this is before Wolverine really exploded, so he's not really known. He's violent. He's angry. He's ready to stab.
Yeah,
I think they retconned that breakout issue where he just like murders everybody in the Hellfire Club. But that was the issue that launched him into like superstardom. So. Think about that. What is Wolverine's power? I stab people. That's my power.
Yeah, pretty much.
I get angry and I stab people. Like even the Hulk isn't as violent as Wolverine, really. So what does Spider-Man do? Spider-Man does what a hero does: attack the cripple.
Yeah, he's like. I was kind of like confused by this, where I'm like, Parker, you're a rat. I mean, come on. I mean, I don't know. Like, his Spidey sense ain't tingling for good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I heard what you guys were saying, and I'm going to rat you out.
Well, I mean, Wolverine says Rogue is an X-Men. Anybody gives her a hard time, I'll slice him into ribbons.
That's true. Yeah, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good.
Last thing we need is an incident. And then, will they hit us because we're mutants? Like, Colossus has always been a goody two-shoes. And then Storm says this, let them beware. We will bear no oppressors.
The whole mutant thing is so annoying to me in this because it's like most of the Marvel universe are not mutants. It's just you guys. Well, I don't know about now, but at least at this time period, and they're all like, even Magneto is like a world for mutants and people. I'm like, how do the Avengers fit in that? None of them are mutants. They're gods and warriors and technical wizards and whatnot.
I really do think that the whole mutant thing, like, they just whiny. They became whiny
crybabies.
Yeah. So so I love.
Well, I'm gonna give them a chance to come back, or we'll have to go into some good X-Men series at some point. You'll have to.
I got a great one.
Okay.
A good Avengers, good X-Men rather to bring up if you're interested. But here we go. Wolverine. Look, and Wolverine, just right there. That's attempted murder. He's slashing.
That's true.
That's attempted murder. Good thing if it was anybody but Spider-Man, there'd be one less hero.
It was just going to be a flesh wound. He wasn't aiming to kill, just maim horribly.
Like, at least he can make the argument. Maybe Storm is throwing some low wattage lightning at him, but
But I love how Spidey. If you think about it, I had to stop and think about this scene because I'm like, Spider-Man single-handedly beat the X-Men in a throwaway scene. Spider-Man is awesome. I mean,
right? Look what he does to Wolverine right there.
Yeah, nothing like it was nothing, and he took out Nightcrawler like it was nothing.
Cyclops can't land the blast.
No, dude, Spider-Man is the man.
He runs to Daddy over here.
What's wrong, Spider the Man?
And I love this. I forgot what it was. I guess it couldn't have been important. What was that all about? I'm not sure.
I knew instantly what was going on, and I was like, "That's good." Yeah, Xavier.
Yeah,
sneaky bastard.
Tell me that's not. Does that doing Ditko right there? Look at that. Look at that pose.
It's a little awkward.
Yeah.
This is very pre-McFarlane.
And then
was it? When did McFarlane start? Was it way after this, right?
What year is this?
I don't know. He might have been
1984.
Okay, he was already in there.
Yeah, I think he was already doing a Infinity Incorporated for DC.
Yeah. And this, oh my God, it's like, if I have to read one more page of these guys whining about their wives
Yeah, the burdens of leadership.
Look, you were saying if you're gonna talk, you better be doing something cool, like
Right.
like the Hulks were. They were holding big, heavy stuff. These guys are just walking around going,
yeah, just walking down a hallway. Like, couldn't they be like, I need your I beams to power this device while they're talking.
yeah.
Firing lasers into a capacitor or something. Yeah. Tell me that Magneto, Xavier over here is not looking ominous.
Yeah.
Despite the storm room was leave at once. Destination Magneto's fortress.
Mm-hmm.
So I like factions are being formed.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Magneto's getting it on. This is a wild scene for me. I was kind of shocked that this kind of casual relations were going on. And then later, we'll get to it later, but she basically used her feminine wilds.
Yeah. Looks like Spider-Man has low yeah, it does. It looks like an action figure that broke.
It does.
Is Doom, he's trying to form an alliance with Magneto, and in an older series, supervillain team up, Magneto and Doom teamed up again, and like every other thought balloon was like, I can't wait to betray this guy. Like they were both thinking the same thing. So it's just like, they have a history of teaming up and betraying each other.
At least he's being polite. He's like, I choose to make my own way, Doom, and he's like, so be it. It ain't gonna end well for you, pal.
And you will live to regret it. But other than that, best wishes.
Yeah, exactly. That's my hero right there.
Well, I'm glad you're back. It's eerie alone. The way the storm. Could you please hold me? I'm very cold around this area. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I'll be the worst girl using my womanly wiles.
She went right in. He went right for her and was like, hey, we got some time to kill, honey.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I might as well, like.
We agree that when our eyes meet yours, there's something electric. Bad joke. He should have said magnetic. I gotta help you with your Riz.
Oh, shooter! You should hire this guy. Look at him.
Yeah. And the Wasp, I got to say, Zek doesn't really draw the women as like, because Janet Van Dyne is supposed to be like a world class beauty,
Yeah, so, all the women in this are very like 80s moms.
She looks like she's dropping the kids off for soccer practice,
right?
After smoking a pack of Kent Kings.
I'm pretty sure my grandma looked like this when she was younger. So like, and I'm watching my grandma kiss Magneto. It's weird.
Yeah. Like right here. Ugh.
But this is such a corny line too. She's like, oh, I suppose it's, oh, why not? You have the iciest blue eyes I've ever seen, Magnus. And I guess the eyes have it, it's like, you sucker.
Yeah. She's just happy Hank Pym's not slapping her around.
Wow, she gets
her
later.
And away. I wonder what's going on there. Yeah. And then we got Dr. Doom.
Yeah, were these women in the early books? I was trying to remember, and like it seems like even the baddies come out and they're like, "Where did these chicks come from?"
Well, these were civilians that came up with them. This mouse-ear one was I forget which one, but one of them was Absorbing Man's regular girlfriend who just like got transported by accident with them, and the other one was the Molecule Man's girlfriend that transported. So these are non-power. So this is their first appearance.
And do you know if they? Because I feel like I've heard of Titania, which is one of them.
She's now in the She-Hulk series. She,
okay.
The character Titania or Titania. She
something like that.
She became like a B-level character. This Volcana, I think she showed up a few times, but
yeah.
I imagine her powers would be difficult to do it in main, in live action.
That's true.
I'm curious how they do a Human Torch in the Fantastic Four movie. That's always been like a thing that
they haven't nailed him yet. They didn't get there.
I'm worried. The thing always looks a little goofy. They never really did.
Yeah.
Maybe a rubber suit with some CGI enhancements. So here's Dr. Doom. He's like, I'm going to give some girls some powers.
I love that panel of him. Look how heroic
Oh,
and
right
awesome
there.
he looks.
He almost looks like he's cackling with laughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got a metal face, but it's very expressive.
He's always happiest when he's creating, you
Yeah.
know, and
He's just tinkering. He's just puttering
Yeah.
around the garden.
he's just making new super people. That's all.
Right. And the mousy girl, of course, she becomes super powerful. Titana and Volcana.
Yeah. Yeah, she lets old Titana, she lets it go to her head a little bit. Like you could tell she was
she was
likes being
mousy and everything, and she couldn't wait to put on her sexy new outfit.
Yeah. Oh my god, and she's loving it every
Yeah.
second of it.
And Volcana's using her newfound powers to melt everything.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and then here
Fun
she is,
stuff.
she's picking up everything.
I even approve of the outfit for Titana there. I don't know where it came from, just kind of popped in.
She throws this.
Oh, I see. Doom's actually got this spiked collar or belt in the
Right. Yeah. Here you go. There's a spike collar for you to wear.
I found the most revealing outfit I could find.
Well, she said she designed it. She said she can't.
Oh, that's
wait.
true. Yeah. Okay.
I'm no Skeeter. Yeah, Skeeter McPherson anymore. I want a new name, something flashy like the clothes, like the others that serve you. And she goes, "Where are the clothes I designed? I can't wait to put them on." Yeah, she's tired of being a 98-pound weakling. Now she's thick, as you kids say.
Yeah. The thick old thighs.
Doom is. You still got to walk behind Doom, though. I don't care how powerful you are.
Course.
Doom enters the room first.
I love that Doom walk that Zek does. So great.
And we got ads for t-shirts and banners, and
Anything good? I got your Wolverine. That looks like is that the Art Adams Wolverine, or is that who is
that's
that?
Paul
Jim
Smith.
Lee? Paul Smith, yeah, another guy that did a great run.
Yeah, Paul Smith to me is like the epitome of like simple, clean lines. Like,
Yeah.
I it's amazing that he draws, considering how few lines that guy puts on paper.
But they're like the perfect lines.
Yeah.
He's so good.
As opposed to like Sal Buscema, it just seems like there's a lot of extra lines there, but it still looks good.
Yeah.
Now we got keep in mind now, Doom's got Ultron rewired to his bidding.
Mm-hmm.
And Ultron is just watching everybody else so that they don't cause problems, and now Doom's got like the beginnings of a harem,
And this is a great scene where like Titana she's just ready to rock. She's like, "You absorbing man, let's fight." And he's just like, "Yeah, maybe later, honey."
What was I ain't getting up. I ain't got nothing to prove to a dame.
Yeah. It's so great. He's not moved at all. Good bad guy.
Yeah. Like I said last time, the absorbing man has always been my guy.
He's great.
And
He's
the
just
record.
laughing at her.
Hey, Missy, if you want to lip wrestle, I'm game.
Yeah.
I guess there's a pecking order among superheroes and villains too.
But here's where we also see a budding romance here between Volcana and Molecule Man, where she's interested in him and
Right.
he's kind of liking the attention a little bit.
I always wanted to meet you. You're different than I expected. Yeah, I know. Shorter. No, more sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's more of a,
Sensitive.
she's more of like a
But this should be a sure turn off for a woman. Oh, you think so? That's what my therapist says.
I know.
Oh,
That
okay.
I know when I'm at a bar and a woman talks to me. My therapist always
Oh.
he says I should keep the voices under control.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just gonna go out for a cigarette. Take off.
Yeah, and then just
but he
contemplate.
likes it. He seems kind of lonely and sad. So little tension from pretty girl. Always nice.
It's only molecules interacting, and I control molecules. I could easily disperse the storm, but my therapist says that I should let things take their natural course. So I won't, unless Doom asks me to, because I have no spine.
Yeah, exactly.
He's very impressive. He always knows what to do. I know what you mean. Such charisma. So
I'm thinking that like it's good writing because like he is, from everything they talk about, he's incredibly powerful, and we get to see him do some really crazy stuff in this episode alone and the next one. But he's a weak pushover,
right.
So,
but that's what I love about Marvel characters is the weaknesses are realistic.
Yeah, and they're equal to the strength. I mean, if this guy had the power, the mental prowess of like a Doom, or the confidence of a Magnus, like he would be real trouble.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank goodness he's
I worked with a guy a couple of years ago who was like the biggest physical human being I've ever seen, just like built like the Hulk. But he was just like, should we do this? Okay. We'll do it your way,
Yeah, thank goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God.
Whatever you say, boss.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And here we got, I love these superhero containment tubes. They're in every comic book. You beat a villain, put him in a tube, Yeah,
it's
hero, put him in a tube.
It's really great. It's like a showcase. Here's my my collection of villains. But I love that Thor just walks right past all of them, straight to Enchantress.
Yep.
Looking all fly.
Yeah. What did she say? Why have you come hither? Did your mortal friends forsake you? No, but they are mortal. There are only things that gods may speak, and only which gods can understand.
Yep.
Captain America never understood me. You and I are the only two immortals of Asgard on this world. We must talk. Not here. Let's go someplace else, because I'm not the Enchantress who uses sex to enslave everybody. I'm not already scheming. You can trust me this time. It's like, okay,
all the women in this are scheming. Wasp is like, she's using her feminine wilds. You got Enchantress, who, of course, it's all in the name there, but
right, that the Enchantress makes sense. And Titania just wants to get physical with anybody. Absorbing Man. If you fought her, that was a precursor. That was foreplay to her. You done messed up.
If anything you learn from a Marvel comic or Marvel comics, is to beware of women. Watch out for these women. Look at that ad. That's a great Power Man ad. I used to love that image.
Isn't that great?
Is that a Sienkiewicz? Who did that?
Yeah, that's Bill Sienkiewicz.
Yeah. It's a great picture.
Yeah. What is it? Power Man's on here right now. You better buy his magazine. You're going to bust your face open. Oh, there's some comments. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to ignore your comment. Wasn't Titania one of the female wrestling villains? Yes, she joins that unlimited wrestling league later on. Yeah. Have a blessed day. Yes, Titania is one of like the powerhouses of and Zach Tan always gives us a drive-by blessing. DC had the Legion of Doom, but besides the Brotherhood of Mutants, there doesn't seem to be a big supervillain group in pop Marvel. That's a good observation. Well, there's the Masters of Evil. That's a big group, but
well, in this, what is it, the Gridlock Gang, or what are they called, the
Wrecking Crew,
what is
Brotherhood
that?
of Evil Mutants, but he already said that.
Doesn't
the Headsman? There you go. There's some bad villains. The Headsman.
Doesn't the Hellfire Club? The
Hellfire Club? There's a good group. Yeah,
I used to love those when Hellions. I was reading X-Men when I was a kid. Yeah, the Hellions, the
Marauders.
There's a bunch. The Marauders, man. I used to love those guys when they'd show up with their they reminded me of something from like a cheesy B movie with like tank legs.
Yeah, legs. One guy who's the Frightful Four. There's a good one.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Yeah, but there's like a group of dedicated villains.
Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
Yeah,
you mentioned that already. Yeah.
The Frightful Four. There's always like the three main guys, and then the rotating fourth.
I see what you're saying. Permanent, where they're always the same figures.
Villains, it's they're all selfish. You know what I mean? It's easy to keep a group of altruistic people together.
Yeah, the villains are like, I'm tired of this guy. I got to get out of here and run my own gang.
Now tell me this panel doesn't look suggestive. I can't believe I did that. I'm going to regret this.
Oh, no. I didn't think about that. Now I can't not think that. Thank you. That's terrible. Man.
What am I going to tell him?
Hulk gave him a workout. He's all tuckered out.
Hey, Hulk, honey, want to have breakfast? I'm out of here. I'll call you in the morning.
Hey, Cap's in the military. Don't ask, don't tell. All right. Jeez.
There is Doom. It's huge. I see no signs of a sortie coming out.
I'm just starting to like Cap. Don't ruin it for me.
And then, Doom. What are they? Yeah, he's flying his ship in. They're attacking.
Yeah, they're all not paying attention. They're all like having sex with each other. You got Wasp and Magneto. You got Thor and Enchantress. You got Hulk and Cap. I mean, they're not paying attention. They even mentioned earlier we need to be on guard.
Did you see this? The X-rated parody, The Secret Whores?
We'll have to read that one next.
Yeah. So I love this. Dr. Doom gives him like a little pep talk over here. Yours is the most important role, Mr. Reese. You must remain at my side, vigilant. You got it. Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, Doom, man. He knows how to work it.
Yep. Natural leader. Then
charm this guy. Got him eating out of the palm of his hand.
My arm, it's broken. Ribs too. Oh, you little jerk. You're just making it worse. And here it is. This is the beginning of like, I thought this was Titania, but this is Volcana fighting She-Hulk. She's always working out. Oh, I'm not even showing the panel correctly. Volcana just attacks, just wrecking everything in slag. So much for the She-Hulk.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Not much there. These are reading really fast. Oh, here we go. You got
Dr. Octopus creeping on Monica Rambeau over here.
I was thinking that same thing when I was reading it. I was like, was he behind those bushes, like watching her the whole time?
She's just taking a bath, putting on a costume. At least he waited for her to put the costume on. And then he just hits her.
Might as well show up then,
Yeah, he hits her with something long and hard.
But I love it. He's as soon as Hawkeye comes in, back away from her, you turkey, and he takes off skittering.
Yeah, I love. He picks up a brick wall to protect himself. What is he say? He's deadly accurate with that bow and arrow, a high-tech arsenal of arrows. If that's the best foe is against long range, I'm not the best against long-range firepower. Better play it safe. Iron Man, we got trouble.
Yeah, more of that kind of shooter dialogue, but I didn't mind right there. I'm like, yeah, I get it, but I've been exposed to this stuff for a long, long time. I already knew Hawkeye was badass with those bows and arrows, but if you think about this time, gotta make sure people know about these guys. Hawkeye could just be a guy in purple,
right?
Lame.
You got like Chip Shooter said, every issue is somebody's first issue. And I think it was Luke Stone, the guy behind Fund My Comic. I think he said it was either this issue or this issue was his first comic.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Oh goody, he's mine. So Molecule Man's going to take out the Hulk. Throwing meteors at him practically. And now we got the villains triumphant. Situation hopeless.
See, there wasn't. When the next issue comes in, it's almost like after the fight. I'm like, when was the fight? I had to go back.
Right.
There was no real fight. They all kind of went through the floor and disappeared.
Right. They could have brushed up some of the woe is me kind of stuff and did more action, if you ask me.
Yeah. But it's one issue out of 12.
Right.
You can have some of that stuff, but
it's almost a little bit of padding, if you ask me. Not the best of the series, that particular issue.
No, but I liked it. I still liked it. There was some funny the whole all the like sex stuff made me laugh because I'm just like, no kids are gonna understand all this, but like as an adult, I'm reading, I'm like, you whores,
I wonder. I wish I could go back in time and see, like, how did I react to the Wasp kissing Magneto? Like,
that was kind of. I don't know much about Magneto other than he was always this brooding. It was always after all this stuff had happened. When Jim Lee's X-Men run in Claremont was like the first stuff I ever read, and he was always just this larger than life kind of epic character that was, back in the day, and he was kind of making a resurgence in that stuff. But Yeah, he was a real smoothie in this. You know, he stands by his, you know, his mantra, his beliefs, like almost, well, not almost, strictly to a fault. You
Right.
know?
It just seems like whenever Magneto's stranded with the female hero, they hook up. Because remember, in the Savage Land, it was Magneto and Rogue for a while.
That was great. I loved that.
So you got to figure if this guy's charismatic enough to like have like devotees, you know, he's got.
Yeah, and that was so fun. And then you know, of course, Gambit shows up and totally takes Rogue from anybody else, I guess.
So now we got a change up. Like you said, this is Bob Layton as the penciler, and then John Beatty is still staying on the inker.
Yeah, it was just at first I was kind of let down, and then you know, I'm like, I don't know what it is. It's just not capturing me enough. But as it goes on, like he does some great team shots. And
yeah, Bob Layton to me is just like one of the just classic superhero stuff. You know, like he's probably like maybe a tier lower than Byrne and Perez, but he's just classic superhero. Whereas Zek, as much as I love Zek, to me, in my eye, he's not the superhero. Like,
no,
we were criticizing the women kind of look like, you know, like, come on, the laundry's done, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, that's my comics. When you know, I always gravitated towards the kind of comics that Zek did, like Punisher. Or
yeah, he was more gritty, street level,
or you know, G.I. Joe, or any of that stuff. So I was never like a huge superhero devotee. So there's a lot. Bob Layton was always that guy to me that was emblematic of the standard, you know, and that I always kind of gravitated towards guys that were a little quirky, you know, and different. But reading this, I think he nails it.
Characters were always like more grounded. Like,
yeah,
like drawing a series with the Beyonder and Galactus on a makeshift planet beyond time and space. You know what I mean? I think his forte is a guy in a foxhole, like his leg is bleeding and he's loading the gun, you know what I mean? And he's going to shoot his way out.
Well, I thought he did a good job, but I don't think he handles the scale. Like he'll draw these tiny characters in this immense environment. So you're seeing these little tiny characters at the bottom. So it's like, I do get like a sense of scale from everything, but it seems really, you know, at the expense of having these tiny characters. And one thing you notice about Bob Layton is that everything is very big. Like he fills up the panel with giant characters.
Yeah, almost like I imagine if George Perez drew this, you know.
Oh yeah, it'd be lots of little figures, but lots of detailed backgrounds and lots of everything.
Answer this question. I never even thought of that. I do not know if Claremont has an opinion, you know.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
So here we got, you know,
see, that's kind of like a little bit of forgotten lore, the Magneto Wasp, because it was just this fleeting moment of you know, bored in a rain shower kind of thing. Well,
I kind of agree with this. I was keeping my mouth shut because everybody's like Mike Zeck, but I you know,
I can see that. I mean, yeah. I love him a lot in this, but this book, I always avoided this book because it seemed like it wasn't Zek. Like it didn't seem right for him, and it's totally drawn different than everything else he draws. And
like,
yeah,
so I love John Byrne. I kind of don't want him on a Western.
But man, a John Byrne on this would have been insane. It would have been great.
This would have been printing money.
Yeah,
this still did gangbusters. So here we got. Just don't forget, guys. This is the superheroes base that is as big as Chicago, getting destroyed. So yeah, this is like an earth-shattering event.
Yes, you know? And what a title too. Situation Hopeless.
Situation Hopeless. And then we got, you know, they rescued their compatriots over here. We got Thunderball and Kang over there. You know.
Yeah, we got Volcana just really pouring it on to Molecule Man.
Yeah. And I love too that in 1984 she was supposed to be overweight.
Oh, really? Why do we say that?
because that's what they were talking about. Like they call her chubby thunder thighs and stuff. You know,
Who, Volcana?
Yeah, but
Dude,
so
she's
this
smoking right here.
Right now. This is what the youngins would call thick. You know. Yeah,
dude, she's plicking a cat cacao.
But I see what you mean now. It's more of like close ups. The debris is different. You know.
Yeah, it's just a different flavor. He's more about like these big characters, and Zek, I don't know, seem more. I don't know. It's kind of hard to place. I still like Zek more, but I think Bob Layton's probably more appropriate for this stuff than he is. So I'll buy that.
Zach did. He goes, quick, we have to
put your finger on.
we can get back to talking about our feelings. No, that was an issue ago. Now we got action to take care of. So she's just wrecking, throwing away the debris, and they're like, "We're not gonna be showing up by a dame." They're gonna throw out the debris also.
Yeah, she picks up this giant hunk of base or something and just chunks it. The timing all here is weird because she picks up this giant thing, throws it. Then they pick up a giant thing and throw it. And then Molecule Man's like, I guess on the next page, he's like, or right at the bottom of here, he's like, "Oh yeah," and he picks up an entire mountain range. And then we cut to the Avengers. All of this stuff is already in motion, mind you.
Right.
And this chunk of metal, who I didn't see anybody throw, lands first, but it's like there's some timing issues here, where I'm like, I don't know. It just seemed weird. I'm like, gosh, man, they got a lot of time to think about this.
They said something about the size of okay, so I guess they'll talk about the size of the mountains later. But
and this whole sequence here is kind of like I'm glad that Hawkeye finally got to. Oh wait, we got the Oreo cookie ad first. But,
yep. And you could color it in.
But yeah, this whole scene I found kind of silly, but I did like Hawkeye getting a chance to do something cool. But Iron Man, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know. It's just such an awkward pose what he's doing there. It's just so strange.
Can't drop Captain Marvel. Gotta help out my buddy over here.
It took me a minute to realize what was going on because it really looks like his leg is coming out of her thigh. Like
yeah. Bad inking.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was a little like, well, that's cool.
Iron Man. So they're using some teamwork, and they don't destroy it. They just divert it and create like a safe pocket for everything. He deflected the fragments just enough. Nice going, Shellhead. And you didn't even drop Captain Marvel. Not bad. Yeah. I never dropped, and I love this line. I never dropped talent like this, man.
I was wondering, what is he saying about that? Like, what's her talent? Like, what do we not know? Is there some more sex going on behind the scenes?
Yeah.
And everybody's screwing in these comics, man.
Yeah. Shooter's a little horny guy,
No wonder everybody liked these. But then the mountain, yeah.
Yeah, here it is. Yes. Suddenly, unbelievably, a mountain range which would dwarf the Andes looms above them. For a second, impossibly, it hangs suspended in the sky, then it falls. So it's a nice moment. Can't draw it like it's just like a little flash. There they are.
Yeah, but it's a nice moment because they're like all this big heavy stuff's like, oh yeah, shoot, shoot, shoot. All right, teamwork. Ah, crap.
And I love how big they show the curvature of this world.
Yeah. It's a big mountain range.
Yeah.
But I mean, they spoil it on the cover.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Between 150 billion tons stands the Hulk. And
it's like they already spoiled it. I already knew, when that mountain hit them, I'm like, they're all right, Next.
And I love this. That did it. They're finished. You were wonderful, Owen.
Yeah,
but you think Skeeter McPherson, skinny little girl from the secretary pool? It's like, I know we're villains now, but you just murdered Captain America.
Nope. No, they're all into this. Might as well. But
Yeah.
I love that everybody's all cheering and happy. Yeah, that was really nothing. We did it. Oh, that's great. You must have killed him. And then Doom, the only real man here, the only guy with the knows what's happening. He's just like, perhaps. You know, he knows what's up.
Yeah, the cover is great. The cover is compelling, makes you want to pick up the books. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but it totally spoils this moment, though. Like if they'd have done it in such a way that, you know, if on the cover, I don't know, what does it say on the cover? Let me go back. Beneath 150 billion tons stands the Hulk, and he's not happy. I mean, if they'd have done it like a cliffhanger cover where it's like, beneath 150 billion tons stands the Hulk, you know, this might be too much for him. I don't know. Just something to make you think that now they're going to be crushed.
Yeah, because you know the Hulk's, just when you see the mountains, you know the Hulk's going to be lifting it.
But they do a great job. We'll get to that soon. I was like, okay.
And then we got a little tea party out in the woods. You know, Thor and Amora, the enchantress.
But he's good, man. He's playing it like a total man, where he's just like, she's all like, "Could you love me?" And he's just like, "Honey, there's more to love than just sugar. I can get that anytime I want."
Love is not an object to be seized or stolen. It can only be given.
Yeah, I mean, he's smooth.
Anybody in the chat, you going out tonight? There's a line to pick up the women,
and that just makes her want him more.
Yeah,
you know,
we immortals want to occupy our endless days with foolish and impossible quests. You need to keep it because we are. Could you love me, Thor? Am I not beautiful? And then Thor's weakening. Thank God a mountain fell.
I love that's such a great line though. Either keep from going mad or because we are, you know, and I'm like, you could be. I mean, all of you guys are kind of nuts, you Asgardians.
And we got some more ads over here. Model kits. Were you into models at all as a kid?
I never could afford them. I mean, I would have loved to have had some models, but yeah, I never got into it. I have some friends that have them.
My older brothers were into models, and it seemed like I was like the tail end of the modeling craze.
I was too, kind of. Yeah, there was some stuff from Japan that I saw. My friend had a dad who went to Japan all the time, and he'd bring back these catalogs, and oh my gosh, some of that stuff. I wanted that so bad.
Yeah, my friend's dad was I don't know what he did for a living. I think he was a con man. I'm not even joking. I think he was a con man, and he was always traveling around the world with like schemes and stuff, you know. And he would come back from Japan with all of these wonderful toys, you know, like you know, back when we were we're talking like probably like 75 and stuff I've never seen before since.
He was working with the Yakuza out there. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll never forget. I could go on and on about this guy. He was like a legend among we don't. He never explained what he did for a living. An earthquake, it was not a natural occurrence. So now she realizes we got to deal something, and she brings him back to all the villains.
Which is the mountain, right? That was the feeling of the mountain.
Yeah, the mountain was a planet-wide, shake, earthquake, worldquake. It's not Earth, whatever you call it. A battle.
The whole time this is going on, I'm like, she's shady. Of course, you can't trust her. And then they zip him back, and I'm like, of course, she zips him right back into the bad guys area. But no, I forgot that they were in the good guys part of town. At this point.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. Yeah, but but are they? Because they're at least the Andes away.
Right, and we'll see in the next page. She totally turns her back.
Yeah.
Right here. Yeah.
Doom. They are dead. They've been slain all by dropping a mount range on them. Simple, effective? No. Now listen, you are hopelessly outnumbered. I guarantee you a merciful death. He goes, perhaps. What does he say? I'll fight you with my last breath. It's 13-1 against you, perhaps. And she just walks away.
I love how reasonable Doom is. He's like, look, if you just let us kill you, we'll do it quick. I mean, what a good guy. He's a hero, man. He's
But this is a good question. Did she plan this?
I don't know. She seems pretty like reluctant here, but she still gives it up. She's still like, and I love how subtle this is too. She's like, of course not. However, common courtesy demands that I make the offer. Oh wait, that's Doom. But 13 against 1 against you. And he's like, perhaps, and he kind of looks over at her, and she's totally slinking off.
Yeah.
So be it. You know,
I think she's just an opportunist. She was trapped. Yeah. She knows she can't beat Thor. Mm-hmm. You know, when it comes down to punching and smashing, so she's using the only weapon she has to get the advantage over Thor. If she could kiss him and get him to fall in love, she could use him as her love.
Let's see, a real moment for that would be if she's fought by his side right here. But that's just
it. She also knows that Doom and Ultron and all these guys are probably going to beat Thor. So, okay, the realism.
Don't believe in your man. Fine, okay, beat it.
The realism is like, how do I survive? By not fighting with Thor, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is such a great little fight scene, actually. I really enjoyed this fight scene.
Enough talk. Let's ace this sucker.
The dialogue of this. So corny.
Get him.
Get him. Yeah, and he just throws this thing, and then Titania, she's just
punches him right in the stomach.
Yeah, I mean, what are you thinking? And he just flinks her away. It even says it. Flink.
He goes, the woman who killed Thor with her bare hands, that's what they'll call me, Mayhap woman. When icicles ornament Surtur's fiery realm.
Yeah, in other words, when hell freezes over.
Yeah, when hell freezes over.
That's so great. I really enjoyed this whole scene.
Dr. Octopus is strangling him. You know, and could you see the Absorbing Man's touching rocks? So he's becoming rocks. You know, we got all these fists just hitting him, just cheap shotting him.
Yeah, he's like, hang on, hold on to him just for a little bit more, and then bang, he gets Mjolnir, or however you say it. He gets it right in time.
Right.
Bang.
Away, varlets. Away, varlets. Thy touch offends me.
I love that. It's so great. Thy touch offends me. He's so awesome.
At the command of the God of Thunder, let the fury of the sky smite mine enemies.
And Doom looking all cool and relaxed. You know, yeah. When I rebuilt Ultron, I added a weapon that kind of, you know, negates anything you got to do.
Well, so. he's stealing the electricity. He's charging up his gadgets and everything. You're not going to fight Doom. You know, something mundane like electricity on Doom. Doom's going to use the electricity, and then so he's using the electricity to charge Ultron's disintegrator. You know, under the combat valley,
disintegrates freaking Thor, man. Just boom.
And I was like, I loved him, but I wasn't going to win that fight, you know.
This got me for half a second, because I was like, well, he disintegrated. I was like, are we going to find out he's in like the netherworld or some other realm, or, you know? No. It's a very easy solution they talk about later.
Zactor says the dialogue is what separates the greats from the ain'ts. That's a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, hell. In Norse mythology, hell is cold, but Surtur is a fire giant. Muspelheim is filled with fire. Hell is filled with ice, and I used to think.
I mean, in the what is it? Dante's Inferno talks about when you're finally at the realm of the beast in the very bottom. He's trapped in a block of ice.
Ice. Yeah. The Christian hell is fire and ice.
Yeah.
Hello, just got in. I'll have to catch up later. Hey, Comics with Jose. It's good to see Jose. He stumbled upon me and just started liking the channel.
Nice.
Hojo, how you doing, Hojo?
Hojo in the house.
Oscar, yes, I had all of these toys, and I hated them. But I still got them. They had 5. They only had 4 points, 5 points of articulation because the neck twisted. But they all had that stupid shield with the hologram that made no freaking sense. If you remember that, and Dr. Octopus's arms were bent in a certain way so it could fit in a preformed package. So, like, I don't know, but they just
were they just plastic? Were they permanently bent to fit in the box, and you could never get them out?
Right. Yeah, and they all had the same body with just a paint job on them.
Yeah.
You know, They were terrible. They were terrible. And at the same time, DC was putting out the Superpowers action figures, which were light years better. I love those Superpowers. I still have the Black Spider-Man with the shield. That's probably, if that's mint in box, that's worth a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a big one. The Black Spider-Man still kind of holds a lot of sway.
They had other characters in South America that weren't released in America. They had Iceman that wasn't released in America. They had the Constrictor, and they had another one. I can't remember. I think Electro. That they're not in the series, but they made toys of them.
All right, this scene was shocking to me. Again, there was so much in this where I was like, what? Like the page before it, Doom is like, the X-Men are not yet accounted for, Dr. Octopus, nor is Magneto, and Galactus remains a possible problem. We shall return to Doom Base and plan our next strike. But first, there is yet one other matter that we have to attend to now. One of you tried to kill me, and then I was like, whoa, was it Octopus? I couldn't remember. I was like, who tried to kill him? It's freaking
Kang. They're too similar. Doom, you can't have Kang and Doom. They're too similar. Like you always say, if you met yourself, you'd probably fist fight.
But he destroys Kang. Like, this is the end of Kang right here. Is this the end of Kang? Is this the last
time? Multiverse. Because always.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Stupid multiverse. I was like, are we just witnessing the end of Kang? Wow.
And then we got, typical Bob Layton super, like all this detail in the background that's just, colored light blue, because why not?
Yeah, and I was like, what is that? Is that like a shelf of canned food back there? What is happening in their jet? I didn't know. I
always hated the white on Colossus makes him look, old.
He looks old, and he was talking about. There's so much history I don't know about. He was like, "Oh, Kitty! Oh, I can't wait to get back to Kitty." I'm like, she's a freaking kid,
right? Colossus was supposed to be 19, and Kitty was supposed to be like 14, 15.
Yeah, but I don't think they became a thing until after she became Shadowcat, right? Which was she was actually becoming an adult at that point. So I had to look it up. I was kind of like, what? I didn't know any of this.
And then like this is pre-sexy Storm. Like, she looks like a substitute kindergarten teacher right here.
Or a rogue. Yeah. Yeah, she did in that hair and that I wasn't doing anything for me. I much prefer Savage Land Rogue.
Yeah.
Cut off jean short wearing Rogue. Big hair Rogue. That was my Rogue. I don't know who this
war. Maybe the last war for all the marbles in the universe. So this time I ain't taking prisoners, no matter what Charlie thinks.
He's so happy. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, most of the time I'm fighting the need to kill everything in the room, but this is a chance to do it.
His Magneto's crazy.
This is so stupid. I was like, oh, what is Magneto doing? He knows they're coming. He's generating something big. No, he's making a comb for Wasp here.
See what happens? You start cohabitating with a woman, they already got you domesticated there, Magnus.
Yeah, and she's complaining about the plumbing.
Taking out the garbage, and you only watching like Hallmark movies.
And she's complaining that there's no bathroom.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Would you like there's no bathroom, but there's like magic elixirs or whatever. The X-Men. I love how they say that this base is the size of a city. Well, I guess Xavier read his mind, but like they just didn't show up, but Xavier read his mind.
I like how Wolverine is like, you got any cold beer, Maggie? He calls him Maggie.
Yeah. You got any cold beer there, Maggie? I love that. At this point, this is like what comic book nerds think is a cool guy. Like I always hated Lobo, like back when Lobo was big, because I'm like, oh, Lobo's not a cool guy. Lobo is what a nerd thinks a cool guy is.
I liked Lobo. I liked him when Beasley was drawing him, and then what's his name was writing him. What is it? John Wagner and not John Wagner. Who am I thinking of?
Alan Grant.
Yeah, it was Alan Grant and Keith Giffen, I think, was also writing him. I like Keith.
Nobody draws metal better than Layton does really draw metal. I got to agree with you. George Perez and Bob Layton really, really draw.
Yeah, I'm liking this. This whole scene irritated the crap out of me in the good way. Like when I'm saying that, I'm like not talking about how it's a bad comic. I was so into the scene, and I was like, oh, this is going to be trouble because Magneto is going off. He's like, oh, we'll team up. Oh, that's great. We'll destroy the human race. We'll get, I'm like, wait, whoa, settle down there, man. So this is not going to fly with Xavier and the X-Men as I know them. And he's like, well, yeah, but Wasp is with me, and she's like, idiot. No.
Pompous, overbearing jerk. Cute, though.
Yeah, I just got what I wanted out of you. Some of that sweet meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
How far did she go to complete the ruse, though? You know what I mean?
Oh, they went all the way. Come on, this is post-coital right here. When she's like, "I wish we had a bathroom, a powder room." Yeah, they went all. Yeah.
They should have had him smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, exactly. If that was the thing, well, I guess it was with cigars and like stogies with Wolverine. But yeah, they should have been post-coital smoking cigarettes. Yeah, that's what I got out of it.
And now Wasp is beating the X-Men.
This is the thing. When this started happening, I was like, you guys are wimps.
She just right to Wolverine's face. Nightcrawler, all we saw Nightcrawler is he got beaten out by like 5 different people so far. Doesn't do anything.
Yeah, this is pathetic. I mean, Spider-Man, granted Spider-Man is really cool and he's really good. But he just makes them look like chumps. And now Wasp.
I know. All right, I could see you're hitting Wolverine by surprise. I could even see that Blast taking out Xavier and Storm because they're regular humans with power. But Colossus should just be like, there's nothing you could possibly do to me.
My grandpa could take out Wasp easy because I remember when I was a kid. This is when I stopped being afraid of wasps. Was when he was walking to his car and I was on the porch and there was a wasp buzzing around his head. I was like, Papa, watch out. There's a wasp. And he looks over and just goes smack, knocks it right to the ground and then continues on his way. And like it was nothing.
Back when men were men.
Yeah. My grandpa would have knocked her out just like, psh.
And she just takes off and she takes their ship,
Yeah, but she's an idiot. She doesn't know how to
fly. How do I steer this thing? It takes 6 hands to work these controls.
Yeah, so why don't you fly? You are flying. I couldn't understand this.
Well, that's just it. She can't fly those distances. You know what I mean?
Okay.
She's a wasp. And here's a little preview of what the Micronauts look at. That's from Michael Golden drawing a Croyer.
Yeah.
And now what we got here?
Golden. Michael Golden was like one of my favorites. Oh, look at that. Wait. Oh, yeah. Let's read this first. I was looking at all the toys there or whatever.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about the toys. So here she's flying over like the meat forest.
It's such a weird, the meat forest, the ground hamburger, ground chuck land.
Yeah, and it's even like gross pink. Magnus, I can't allow you to do this. Allow me? You presume much, Xavier. Listen to me. Oh, that's right. Magneto's controlling the ship. He's messing with her. Hell has a great shot, like a mutant scorned.
It's a great shot though, with them in silhouette like that, and then he's like, "Allow me, you presume much, Xavier," and I'm like, see, he's a villain to the core. You're not gonna work with this guy. Yeah, but
and then what did he say a few hours ago? I mind wiped Spider-Man and blah blah blah. In that moment of weakness, I was no better than Doom or Hitler.
And the Hitler, they reference him a couple times as
or
like
anyone else who's ever used power to you. So basically, Doom Xavier's like, I for a moment there, I became worse than Hitler. I'm not going to do anything about it. I'm not going to go ever apologize to Spider-Man. I'm not going to make ends meet. But when needs come, I will become worse than Hitler, and then say, at least I admit I'm worse than Hitler.
To me, this was kind of like Star Trek, where they always say great poets like the Vulcan Shimashar,
Yeah.
or the Earthling Shakespeare. You know, they always throw in something, you know.
Yeah, it's
So
the Homer, Shakespeare, and the 25th century Lao Schlemlo.
That's what that reminded me of. As soon as Hitler came up, I was like, oh, like, okay. Yeah,
And now we
I can
got
think of like worse in the Marvel universe pantheon of villains than Hitler, but I guess, you know, for comparison, yeah.
so now we got how about a little light? Dun, dun, dun. And now we got this is what the toys look like. But this is
Yeah.
actually cooler than the toys.
I like the drawings of the toys. They're great.
The Kang one looks pretty accurate to what Kang looked like. The Magneto one looked accurate. But Wolverine, there was no way you were putting Wolverine in that pose. The Dr. Octopus, you couldn't put them in that pose. Like the Doom, that Spider-Man, they're all in that pose. Like
they couldn't figure out the cape for Doom, huh?
No capes.
Yeah, just the hood, but not the
Yeah,
Magneto got a weird leg band.
Yeah, nobody has capes.
And they all have shields. That's
yeah,
so
they all have stupid shields with like lenticular of their own face. You know what I mean? Like me and you are going to get action figures, and we're going to have shields with my face on it. You're going to have a shield with your face, and we're going to charge into battle. The villains are going to be like, wait a minute. What's with the shields?
Yeah, these guys are so full of themselves. That would throw them off, though. That might be a good tactic.
There you go.
So this is fun. This whole scene, I actually was impressed with how they handled it because they address everything. He's holding this mountain up, barely. He even says, I got like a minute, you know.
Yeah, I don't know how long, a minute maybe.
Yeah. And I love that little panel of all black, but just that little window of where they are inside this mountain. Thought that was pretty fun. And Leighton, this is where I started like changing my opinion of Leighton. You know, because like this whole sequence, they're all crammed together. You got so many characters. Everybody looks great. I really get the sense of peril in this. This is well done. Yeah.
Yeah, we got the Thing looking like a 40s gangster movie character. Reed Richards wakes up and immediately starts insulting the Hulk.
That's what I was like. What are you doing? You know, like you guys are such jerks. I'm like. The Thing is like such a crybaby, and the Human Torch is a jerk, and now Reed is a jerk.
Yeah.
Iron
Man, your armor is more technically advanced than I ever imagined. You're brilliant. And he's like, "Shut up, Richards! I'm tired of hearing how brilliant it is." And what does he say? That's exactly the kind of self-pitying mewling we expect from you, Hulk, or Dr. Banner, or whoever you are. You're correct. You're a brute. So keep using your muscle. That's all you're good for. Because
I was like, why can't you say that to your buddy, the Thing?
Yeah.
You know, like of all the people you should be saying that to. I was mad at this moment.
And then the Hulk's like, you know, I'm losing my intellect. You know, I'm just a dumb, but you bet, you know.
Yeah, I'm gonna kick your butt.
Yeah, as soon as I'm done holding up this mountain, I'm gonna smash your face. And then,
I was worried. I was like, this is not good. This can't be real.
And then Iron Man just blasts through the mountain. I've always liked this panel.
Yeah, I was impressed because, like, at first I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool." He's gathering up all the little knickknacks from everybody's suit, even Spider-Man's web slingers, and he makes this thing to channel everyone, all the two women, or the Johnny Storm and Marvel. What's her face?
Captain
Marvel's energy through his repulsor beams, and man, they blast half the damn mountain open.
Yeah, and they all come flying out.
And he's all proud of himself. He's like, damn, my suit is awesome.
Hulk, Dr. Banner, I'm sorry about that. I said down there, you knew I was losing. You deliberately made me angry because you knew the matter I get, the stronger. Yeah. Yes, I know, Richards. I finally figured it out. I'm not that stupid. You know what? I needed that. Because as a kid, I was like, because Reed Richards is one of my favorites. And I'm like, you can't be a jerk. Oh, okay. That like lowered my anxiety when I read that as a kid.
That's exactly how I felt. So I was mad that Reed Richards was acting like a jerk because I'm like, I've seen several times so far in this series characters acting like jerks or saying things that seem stupid or whatever, and I was mad. And then when they got to this, I was like, Okay. All right.
But that means
makes
it
sense.
worked.
Yeah.
That means it worked as a story.
It did. It did. Yeah, it did work for me. And then, Thor's here, which he just kind of unceremoniously appears. He's like, oh, yeah, I used their blast to hide.
Yeah, a flash of lightning made it look like I disintegrated, which was
Yeah.
hokey. But it's like, sorry, I wasn't there at the fight. I was, getting seduced.
Hey, yeah, I can understand.
It's no different than what you were doing with the Hulk in issue 3. We all read it.
He's like, we don't talk about that.
Hey, what happens on Battle World stays at Battle World.
Well, he does say, "'Tis a tale long, long in the telling."
Tis a long tale later. Then okay, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you weren't there when we needed you.
I want to hear about your long tail later.
Yeah. So Captain Marvel speeding off at the speed of light, and Galactus. Like at this point, I totally forgot about Galactus. There's Galactus still keeping some mysterious vigil atop the peak. He's been like that since we arrived. Now Reed Richards has to know what it's about to happen. Like that's just one of the things about Reed Richards. Like I'll tell you when it's most dramatic. You don't need to know this until it's dramatic.
Well, he seems kind of caught off guard, if I'm remembering right. But anyway, there is a moment here, and I'm wondering if you could tell me, or maybe they just haven't revealed it yet. But when she finds this place, she said, "There's that village again. It has one teensy little problem." Is that Galactus? Is he the teensy little problem? Because everybody's like, "Why we can't?" We're right in front of him. He's looking right at us, and of course, Reed has to remind everybody, "Look, he's not even looking at us. He's looking down the road."
Yeah, we're
nothing.
We could seek shelter in this village, but the problem is, like, Galactus is staring right at it. Is what you? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the shadow of Galactus. Right on his nose. Is she kidding? It's like doesn't matter if Galactus wanted to notice us, he'd notice us. Hanging out on Galactus's shoes or hanging out on Jupiter, it's all the same. If Galactus decides he needs to notice us, and then here they got there's aliens on this world. They're patchwork. There's a whole there's a whole different races. I don't want to spoil, but this goes on later on. You'll see more.
I felt like I've seen this race of aliens before in comics somewhere. Do they make another appearance? Because the eyes and the hair, it all rings very familiar to me.
They look like Starfire, Coriander from
maybe.
They have the cat-like eyes and the luscious hair.
Okay.
And then for plot reasons, this one has magic healing abilities.
Yeah, it works. Why not? Because I love this bit where, again, a lot of loving going on in this issue. Because
right away, that helped me, gorgeous. Wow, I think I'm in love, baby. I'll tumble for you.
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean, tumble for you?
Well, the Culture Club was big at the time. I'll tumble for you.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. Torch, you got no class, man.
Now, I just want to say, does this sound like Tony Stark to you?
What? Where
Iron Man didn't know how to work his armor. He's hitting on he's overprotective of Carol of Monica Rambeau. You got no class.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind.
No, none of this feels very familiar to me for Iron Man. Like
the thing, he's like, if only Ben, believe me, nobody cared about it until you wouldn't matter. But whatever. So he says, "You have to save it." Turned back into. So he basically, well, what's wrong with me? On Earth, I'm always lovable, but here I could transform it because, and I have a good suspicion, and it's not good news. So he's like, "Oh man, I'm not the Ben Grimm anymore."
Yeah, I'm wondering. They're going to explain this, right? Well, because even Reed's like, "I'm going to have a good think about this."
Yeah. Yep.
But here's where I'm saying Reed looks like he gets a little shaken here by Galactus moving.
Yep. You don't know what's happening?
Well, no, I don't. I didn't read ahead.
So that's a great cliffhanger then.
Yeah, it
I
is.
just figured everybody knew what's going to happen next.
No, I don't. I'm sure everybody watching it already read all this.
Well, yeah, everybody read them all, but if you know anything about Galactus, what is.
Well,
Galactus?
then I saw the title for the next one, "The Battle of the Four Armies," which is very Lord of the Rings, mind you.
Right.
But it did make me think: is that Magneto and the X-Men? That's the Avengers crew. Well, with Fantastic Four, I guess that's one. There's the baddies, Doom and his crew, and then Galactus. I mean, what's the fourth army? Am I missing one?
Well, yeah, we'll call them the heroes. There's the heroes.
Yeah, heroes.
There's the X-Men. There's Doom, and the fourth would be, I guess, Galactus, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, But yeah, when he suddenly moves, he just raises his arms, and Reed's like, "Oh no, no!"
Then we got this John Byrne advertisement for comics, and then this is a real interesting, Amazing High Adventures. It was Marvel trying something new. These were like Indiana Jones style comics. You know, that you have one with conquistadors and Aztecs, cowboys.
It looks like another Sienkiewicz piece.
You know, Louis Simonson, Steve Liliola, and Carlin and Tellock. This is like, 30s adventure stuff. This was pretty good. 4 issues.
Yeah, that ad would have got me, because I would have been like, "What is this?"
Yeah, at the time I was totally into Aztecs.
Yeah,
and then get some.
And then a bathroom stall, for a good time. Call
Kelsey Shannon. What?
No, who put that there, John?
So there you go. These, this one, I forgot how weak this one is, because they all kind of blend into me. You know what I mean? That it's one 12-issue comic.
Yeah, these are like definitely we're I feel like, especially by the end of what is it, 4, we're building, so it's like we're gathering our momentum. Yeah. And I like them. So far they're there's never really a dull moment. Like they keep the ball moving down the hill really good, where there's very little downtime. And I read through these issues really quickly.
Now Galactus is not working with Doom. Remember,
no,
Doom is kind of, he's like, what's Galactus up to? I need to know, because Doom is a control freak. Yeah. And Galactus is a wild card. Doom can't reason with him. He can't bully him. He can't just make him submit. So Doom is kind of like obsessed with Galactus, and of course the Beyonder.
He's still a little nervous about Galactus. What he does. Like, there's even like a look of shock at one point in one of the issues where Doom is like, "Roar," so he's well aware that Galactus could be the real problem here that we gotta have to deal with. Because that's what he says. He's like,
I'm surprised you don't know what's coming.
He's like, we got to deal with so and so, and then there's Galactus. Well, I don't know what we're gonna do with him.
I want to tell you so bad. I can't believe you can't.
No.
Yeah. So same bat time, same beard time, same beard channel.
Same beard time, same beard channel. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next couple. I do feel like things are ramping up.
Right. You're gonna come back, you're gonna read issue 5. You're like, oh duh, how did I not figure out what was going on?
Okay, I'm interested now. You're piquing my interest. If I should have known what it could be. Is he just gonna eat the planet while they're all on it trying to fight?
I'm not telling you.
He's like, well, I might as well have a snack while I'm waiting. I just thought he was, while I was reading it, I was thinking he must just be like, because he's on his own timeline. Like he's so massive. He's so like, none of these people matter. He's got his own thing. He's just up there contemplating what to do. Right. And that could be just a moment for him, but 1,000 years for mankind. He's just contemplating, what am I going to do about this?
And also, this is really the first time Galactus got smacked down. Like the last couple times he showed up, like he never got defeated. He just like kind of got his feelings hurt. Okay, so the Silver Surfer abandoned me, and Dr. Doom has his ultimate nullifier. All right, I'll leave. This is more trouble than it's worth. But Galactus flew. Like, you can cure my hunger. Yeah. I know you can do it. I'm gonna do it. Boom! Galactus got swatted down unconscious.
Which means you're just part of the game as well.
Yeah.
Le says the second half of Secret
Oh,
Wars is really great.
Yeah, it just ramps up. It's funny because I haven't read I didn't reread these. I'm going from my memories of when I read these years ago. But
yeah.
This issue I had almost no recollection other than Spider-Man fighting the X-Men. This one I remembered because that epic Hulk moment carrying the mountains. But the next 6 issues, there's so much good stuff. It just ramps up. It gets better and better and better.
I mean, I'll have to make my final judgment on either. These definitely were a little weak, but still really entertaining. I just enjoyed being with all the characters, to be honest with you. Like, I'm just enjoying the moment. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing where this is going to go, because they're doing a great job. As bad as Shooter is at dialogue, his structure and the build up and the ideas, I think, are really great. I'm really having fun with it, and like his dialogue is getting better. Honestly, I'm enjoying it. That, like I said at the beginning of issue 3, where he's talking about the storm and everything, I'm like, that's good. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. I'm gonna give it to Shooter. It's not bad.
A lot of intrigue and betrayal.
Yeah,
it's playing Magneto. Enchantress is playing. I mean, Enchantress playing Thor is old news, but
and coming up with ways to integrate their powers into what they're doing and how they're succeeding and failing and all this. It's incredibly complex what they're doing here.
Yeah,
it's impressive.
He gets comics. He
does. He does. And honestly, the dialogue is kind of like, I'm getting into the rhythm of it to the point where I'm like, I kind of like it. I kind of like this old school comic stuff. Like,
it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And what Ellie Skibidi Reeser says, I still say that the Jim Shooter tenure of editor-in-chief was the high point of Marvel.
Well, we know John agrees with that, right? Because that's your time period in Marvel.
I love that. So much good stuff. The Tom DeFalco had some moments, but it was the beginning of I think all of these events just destroyed the Tom DeFalco years.
I'm more partial to the Joe Quesada era.
That was good too. That was probably the third best.
I'm just joking, John. I don't really know
Joe
much
Quesada,
about it.
he pulled Marvel out of a bad run, but then I don't know what happened, because he ushered in the downfall of Marvel.
What's his name? Who was the other guy? Who I can't remember his name now. He was the editor-in-chief there before that. Gosh, I can't remember his name now. Axel Alonso.
Oh yeah.
He was a big part of that as well, I think.
I something about his time was really weird. It just seemed like
it was weird.
Stuff. Yeah.
But I think all these guys are just trying anything they could to do something. But the thing is like, looking back on it all now, it's like the thing they were missing is classic comic booking, like at least something of the thing that had to continue. And it's like, I remember when I got in, I wanted to draw X-Men or Punisher. Punisher kind of stayed the same, but X-Men, I mean, it was different. Like the next month, it was something entirely new. And by the time I got to the position where I probably could draw it, I was not interested anymore. I was like, there's nothing here I recognize anymore. It's so weird.
Jim Shooter, to me, he did a lot of financial stuff, and he saved Marvel from like going under, but he never lost his childlike. This to me is very childlike in the best sense of the word. This is a kid playing with toys. So I used to have a desk, and I would have drawers. Like all my Star Wars toys were in this drawer. All my Marvel guys were over here. The DC, and they would just fight, and I would come up with some stupid scenario to make them all fight, and come up with clever battle. It was no different than playing with wrestling toys. That's what this is. This is just all the action figures are playing. It's very childlike. And then later on, under the Quesada years, we aged up. Like like the Brian Michael Bendis, there was no childishness in his
Yeah.
stories. You know, he wrote that not Jessica Drew. Why can't I think of Jessica Jones?
Jessica Jones. Yeah,
And the big part of the story was that she was, you know, sexually abused by you know, there's no childness in that. Superheroes are childish. You know,
I need some funny in my funny books, please.
Right. You gotta embrace the childless. Brian Michael Bendis is to me is patient zero of let's burn away the childhoodness and you know, now we're making something that's basically childish for adults, and we're kind of embarrassed by the childishness of
But
it.
that's what's so weird is like I loved Bendis in his indie days. I found AKA Goldfish and those kinds of indie books that he was doing when he was drawing them and writing them, and I never read anything like that. It was all
Powers
new
was
and
excellent.
yeah, I know that was way. I mean, I'm talking like way before Powers even. But yeah, I mean, LE's got a lot to say. He says that Axel had a great tenure on Vertigo. I didn't know he was head of Vertigo for a while.
That was Karen Berger, as far as I always knew. I never knew Axel Alonso had anything to do with Vertigo.
Was he just an editor there? Or?
I don't know. That's news to me. I kept my mouth quiet because I'm like, oh, I don't want to say something and be proven wrong.
Yeah, I was a big fan of Vertigo for a long time. So I
like Vertigo because it was a nice contrast. I could get the superhero stuff and then I could get the Vertigo stuff, but it wasn't Spider-Man like contemplating like I got molested by Uncle Ben. You know what I mean? It was Vertigo was their own characters. You know, it kind of made sense. There was a lot of grown-up stuff. You know, a lot of like, you know, high pretensions to literature. But at the same time, I was also getting Fantastic Four and fun stuff. Yes, superheroes are basically silly. Superhero, power fantasy, and when you get embarrassed by that, you shouldn't be doing it.
I like it. I like in this comic that we're reading, there's a I'm a big fan of melodrama and when it's done right, you know, like Luke fighting Darth Vader in the end of Jedi. I mean, there's so much melodrama in that, but it's fun. It's fun and exciting and impactful, but it's still not that dire, you know, like even when he, you know, cuts off the hand of his father, there's so much like intense stuff going on right there. But I don't feel, it doesn't feel as mired in reality and real angst and all this stuff like some of the newer comics made me feel. And it's like, man, I don't mind a little bit of that, but man, it just, and everybody starts wearing black leather and everything just gets very cynical, and like thanks to the movies, you know, also I think interjected their influence, but yeah, man,
it's why like I harp on this, and I which it makes me hypocritical because I get so mad about people harping on things. But like The Boys, I didn't particularly like the comic. I bought it because I was a crazy person obsessed with Garth Ennis. But I don't want to watch like guys are like, oh, you would love it. It's superheroes and they're all having sex. They're all puking on each other, and I'm like,
it has its moments where it goes too far for me, but I've quite enjoyed it. And I only watched the first 2 seasons, but it made me want to watch it. But I'm a big fan of Ennis, like with his Punisher stuff.
Yeah,
because like I'll read that stuff. Like Barracuda,
that was great.
That's like a hard R movie where they're using really foul language and racial slurs but everybody's using them, the white guys, the black guys, everybody. So it's equal opportunity racial slurs in it, and it's really graphic and hardcore. And
do you remember how Barracuda, one of his henchmen, he beat one of his henchmen into listening to him?
I don't remember that.
One of the guys was like challenging Barracuda, so Barracuda unzipped his fly and knocked him unconscious.
Yeah, yes. I mean, but see, I don't know. For that book, I mean, it's not like they were trying to do that with Captain America. You know, I was totally
what works for the Punisher. It shouldn't work for Captain America.
Yeah,
you know? And I do think that there's room enough. Like the Punisher shouldn't be in Secret Wars.
No, yeah, but they made a great series that I haven't read all of, but the Punisher kills the Marvel Universe or something. Yeah. I'm kind of curious.
That was pretty good. I want to address this with Comics with Jose. The Authority influenced modern comics. Yes, I love the Authority. I love Star.
I did too.
But the thing is, they were their own creations. That was their own
Yeah.
cynical world, and it worked within that world. You know, what
did.
works for the Authority doesn't work for Superman.
It was still not my, like, I read it, I enjoyed it. I was like, oh, this is great. This is, you know, interesting, but there was still kind of this muckiness in it.
Yeah, there was an ugliness of spirit about it.
Yeah, and that's what I like about this, is that there is none of that in this. It's like pure joy. I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. And I guess we should, like, everybody in the audience here gets it. We get it. It's like there's room, like you say, there's room for all of these things. But I think that we've lost this, you know, this. And I'm not even sure you could do this honestly today without feeling like you're either talking down to the audience or you're doing a parody. Or how do you do this with earnestness? And that's why this is why I'm like not really wanting to see the new Superman movie, because the guy doing it, I love his stuff. I like his movies. I like his Space Guys thing.
It helps what Zach that says. It helps when the authors like the story and the characters, and they're not embarrassed by them.
Yeah, but like there's a certain level, like with Superman, you need to have earnestness. You know, you need to not have cynicism when you're dealing with Superman. I don't trust that he's not going to be cynical about it in some kind of way, you know. And that's why I love this, is that there's just no pretense of you know, there's no cynicism. It's just pure comic joy. And boy, I've missed some of that.
This is, if I may, this is exactly what I'm trying to do with my comic Heroic Tales.
Oh, great like, circle around. Look at you, you're a pro.
That was you'd lob that softball right at me. Thank you. Like the Patriarch could be hanging out at the Secret Wars, and
that's
you know, and when Reed and Cyclops are talking about the women, he's like, yeah, Marissa's home with 7 kids, and I need to get home. You know, it's time for, you know, band practice. That all 7 of them play instruments and they do all this. You know what I mean? They're a happy family. But that's what I want. Like,
how dare you?
There's
no such thing as a happy family nowadays. This is 2024, John.
So I'm trying my best, and I'm wondering if I'm naive, because like I don't have the meanness in my comics. Like in the first scene in the comic, he stops the fight by talking to the villain. He talks him down because he doesn't want to. Like, Dad doesn't want to come in and start beating the kids. That's a bad dad, you know.
We need a little bit of that, honestly.
That's what I'm trying. Superman Sir Galahad, a true Superman. Yeah.
You
know, and that's why in issue 3 I'm introducing the anti-Patriarch, which is like Patriarch is Superman, and then I'm gonna have a Batman guy. You know, he's still a hero, but he's everything the Patriarch isn't, and you're gonna see maybe it's not that good to be the street vigilante.
Pablo's got it here. He says, I don't know if you can go back with these characters. And I have to agree, there's too much history, and it would be weird if they just never grow or change and it's an ongoing thing. But what we can do is take that and move forward, like John's doing with the Patriarch. So he's taking that love and that interest in that thing that he does and putting it into something new, where you can eventually get cynical and mired in the muck later, years from now, when it's a huge popular franchise.
Yeah. When the Netflix comes out and it's
you get Garth Ennis or Alan Moore to write a run on it.
His wife files for divorce because he's never there.
Yeah, get you a nice Alan Moore run on it. That'll totally take care of that for you.
You'll find out. The Patriarch wakes up and he's really just like a bag boy at a supermarket, and his wife is really the mean manager. A dream. Or
oh my God. I felt like I've read that comic. I know what you're talking about. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But that would, right. I guess we'll wind down now because it's just exactly my bedtime. So thanks a lot, everybody. I love doing this. This is so much fun.
This was fun, and I'm glad. I'm I'm happy to share my first experience reading this kind of stuff with you guys. I'm having a blast, honestly.
Good.
I'm loving these comics, and I want to read more, but you guys help me do it, because like I cannot. I read scripts for things I'm about to draw, so I rarely read for fun much anymore. So this is fun,
It's I always thought, like, if like my dream was to write the Fantastic Four, and I would, like, even as a kid, I'm like, oh man, what if I start to hate the Fantastic Four because it's a job now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want to write the Fantastic Four, but I want to write the Fantastic. So I'm 13 years old. I don't even have a job, and I'm already like
worried about these things already.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you can do your own,
Yep. Yeah. Ah, man. So thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching. What do you say? Next Tuesday, same time?
Same time. We'll do it again for 5 and 6, I guess, which will bring us officially halfway.
Yeah. Cool. This is a lot of fun, guys.
Ellie mentions that's when it starts getting good. So,
and again, if I could,
yes,
interest you in the, I got on Fund My Comic. I understand if some people, they want to go to Fund My Comic and support the little guy, but I wanted to throw something special to check out the Kickstarter. So, talk about a guy who has this childlike, whimsical feel of, like, look at this.
Michael T. Gilbert. One of my early faves when I started, really digging into comics. I was like, whoa, who is this? I love this stuff.
Yeah, he always had like a tongue-in-cheek, fun, whimsical nature to his comics. So, maybe I'm crazy, but I'm like, I got to get Michael T. Gilbert somehow involved with my comics. But thanks a lot, everybody. And what is tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow I got like 3 lives. I have my regular conversation. I have tomorrow conversation with B.A. Turner, and then at 8:30 it's comic book team up with RJ and Rob Geronimo, and then at 9:30 I'm going to be on the Incendiary Network, so I'm going to be on somebody else's channel. So tomorrow's a big coffee day for me.
Yeah, I'm going to have Graybeards, of course, usual time where we're doing probably Rake and Bass characters, but in the evening we're going to be on Matt Rye's channel with Twitless and I think Donald DeLay, and we're going to be we're going to be going over what is that? The Frank Miller Holy Terror book. So that'll be interesting.
I did that for a video. I won't spoil it. Have you read it already?
No, I have not.
So I won't spoil it, but I just remember the first comment was, "You're a racist."
Oh, okay. What, in the book?
You're talking about a comic book. You didn't even watch the video.
Well, that's why we're gonna explore it. We're gonna dig into it as comic book people. We're gonna look at it as fans of Frank Miller.
When is that? I'd like
tomorrow night. I think it's like at 10, way past my bedtime. So I don't know.
Yes, I won't be able to watch it live.
Yeah,
but I got to check that out. Yeah, so check it out. Holy Terror.
Busy day of streaming tomorrow for everybody. It's going to be a busy day.
Wednesdays is turning into my big day. But do you have any live campaigns or any links that
I think everything is either being fulfilled, or finished. Right now, and I'll have to be more prepared next time.
I can't wait for Nexus. Like I said, I'm rereading all my Nexus in anticipation.
Yeah,
that way, when you made a mistake on Gadget 1642, the way you drew it, in issue 12 of Nexus, it was blue, and now it's light green. Kelsey, can you explain yourself?
Maybe next time. Show up next time. I'll have a good excuse. Next Tuesday.
As bad as I got with comics, I was never that bad. But thanks a lot, everybody. I'll see you.
Bye. All right.